I had
And
all
now
that.
we're recording.
Okay, great. I had all that anticipation, and then I clicked the button and nothing happened. How do you like that?
Yeah, that happens.
hmm Okay, well, we will focus our energy today on the application portal, which is that online channel that would be a very nice upgrade from the V2, or excuse me, the V1 experience that you have going on today. So let me get this going. Number one, I should introduce myself. As Lou mentioned, I'm a sales engineer here at Meridian Link. My name is Jared Nace, and I've been a user of different Meridian Link software and services for roughly 12 years now. So, and half of that as a credit union administrator for my credit union here in Washington State. So I've been in your shoes. Feel free to ask questions, you know, relevant or otherwise. I'm happy to help. And my goal really is just to educate you on what we can do. So application portal. You know, most people picture application portal as their online or mobile channel, and it is absolutely a great solution for that. I'm going to give you some ideas today that, you know, you may decide you want to deploy this even further into your organization so that you can extend your reach essentially out into the community. So I like to say, even though this is a buzzword, that this truly is an omni-channel solution. So lots of credit unions these days are looking to create kind of a single experience for their members, regardless of what channel they come through. So online banking or in branch, or even if they meet you out at a community event, you want that engagement to be as close as possible to the same experience. So consistency across all of your different channels. Application portal can do that, and I'll share some ideas on how you could use this for more than just your mobile channel. Now, of course, we're focused on mobile first with all of our design because that's where consumers live these days. Everybody's got their mobile device, you know, within an arm's reach pretty much at all times. So that's where they live. And so that's our focus for development, you know, mobile first in design, but responsive to all devices so that you can create an experience across all channels essentially. So if someone comes through, you know, the online banking channel and they're on a desktop computer or a laptop, even though we're mobile first in design, we can accommodate those devices. So we're going to adjust the screen size and maintain the aesthetics of the application. We'll also leverage, you know, desktop and laptop computers. Traditionally, we'll browse to a file folder to upload documents, requested documents. So we'll support that. Of course, if someone comes through a mobile channel on a mobile phone or a tablet, the experience will respond to that device, to the screen size. We'll still maintain the aesthetics of the screen so that it looks nice on their device, but we'll also leverage the features of that device. So we'll use the camera to take picture of documentation. They can still browse to a file folder, but, you know, we prioritize using the mobile device features. We'll also leverage data prefill. You know, iPhones are really good at pre-filling contact information and that sort of thing, and we'll take that. And more of our clients are starting to use this as an extension in their branch as well. So a couple different ways you could do that. And again, all of this is your choice. Just trying to spark some ideas here on how you could use this effectively. Since you have well, I mean, if you move forward, you have this tool, you might as well use it to its full potential. So we can put it, you know, you can put it on a tablet or something in branch as sort of a kiosk. You know, maybe when you have a high traffic day, you know, hey, all our loan officers are busy right now, but if you take 5 minutes, it's about 3 steps. You can get your application loaded here, and as soon as a loan officer is available, we can just hit the ground running, and we've already got all your information. Or maybe you want to give your branch staff a tablet, or maybe they even run this off their own phone. Those are all options, and you can untether them from their desk. So, you know, staff can mill about the lobby, engage with members right there. You know, hey, let's get a cup of coffee, talk about what you want to do today, and have more of a kind of a lobby cafe style experience. Because you truly
Yeah,
have, go ahead.
our branches currently have tablets. I
Oh,
don't think
perfect.
we utilize them a lot, but this would
Okay.
be a good way to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'll keep throwing out ideas about how you can use it all through all these channels as we go through this demo. But essentially, you do have a digital branch right there in the palm of your hand on a tablet or on a phone. So you can even take this with you for remote staffing at events and promotions. So if you want to be able to take a new membership application, including getting an e-signature on documents, or if you are sponsoring, the local auto show or RV show, and you want to even be able to offer on-the-spot financing, get a signature on a loan application and potentially automate a decision. All of those things are available to you through this channel.
Great.
We also have the capacity within Application Portal to offer you the onboarding, especially of new members, but even a new credit card, those kinds of things, with end-to-end automation in a single session. So if we think about this within the, signing up a new member context, we can run all your third-party checks based off of your specifications. So you'll decide when we run OFAC, when we run a credit bureau, debit bureau check, ID authentication, all of those can be automated as a part of this process. So if they pass all your third-party checks and any decision rules you've set up, we can also just present documents for signing. So that membership agreement right there, I can sign that. If I'm sitting at home on my couch at 2 in the morning, I could be signing my membership agreement as a part of this, even though your staff, hopefully, isn't at work. Now they pass all their third-party checks, they sign their documents. We also have the capacity to auto account create on many core systems. So in this scenario where it's all systems go, streamlined approval, we could potentially be pushing the accounts automatically to core as well for those that require no human intervention. Of course, you're still going to have, ones that don't pass, that need a human's touch. But again, you could potentially be auto-creating on core. And then we also, this is a relatively new innovation, have the ability to auto-enroll in online banking. So they sign their documents, their account is created, and then with just a few clicks, we can do auto-enrollment in online banking. Now, again, this is relatively new, so not all of our providers have it yet. Right now, I understand that Digital Insight, Q2, and I believe Alchemy are live today on this auto enrollment. So, but this essentially is just an API push of data, so we can work with home banking providers that are ready now. So again, imagine the possibilities. That brand new member can go through the entire process end to end, including enrollment in online banking. And then if you want to, you could be potentially cross-selling credit products as a part of this account opening as well. So we all know that, a relationship with multiple products is typically stronger right out of the gate. So you add all of these up and you've got really everything that you need with regard to new account opening, all automated in one session. This allows you to say to your members, hey, we're open 24/7 if you want to join, or if you want to add a credit card or something like that. And the key here is, because of all of this automation, this is a sustainable channel for you that, doesn't require your staff to be there at all hours. So without further ado, let's actually look at the product itself. This is just one version of what Application Portal could look like. And I say could because we give you a lot of control over this experience. We give you an admin tool that allow you to change the logo, change all these headers, pretty much any of this text that you see throughout here, you'd be able to change to match the language that you want to use to engage with your membership. So the experience that you want to create. And you'll have real-time access to that administrative tool. I'll show you that in a few minutes. So you won't have to submit a support case anytime you want to change this experience. We'll give you the tools to be able to change it in real time. So again, just one example, because you might decide you want this to look different. Different colors, different messaging, etc. This is how it looks on a Google Pixel 2, for example. So I'm on in my Chrome browser, I'm essentially just emulating what this would look like in different development features. So an older iPhone 5, much smaller screen, no problem, we can adjust to that as well. Or the newer iPhone, the iPhone 10, a larger screen, more real estate. We'll adjust to the device itself and again, maintain all this screen aesthetics and take advantage of features like the iPhone that's really good at pre-filling data. So contact information, that kind of thing, saving clicks. I mentioned putting this on an iPad in branch, or again, taking this out with you out in the community for an event. You can still sign up members or take credit applications. So it still looks real nice on an iPad as well. So let's go through this. There are many different workflows covered by the application portal. So this will be the first one. I want to join the credit union, but it could also be, I want a loan, but I'm not a member yet. Or it could just be, I want to refinance my auto loan with you. So all the different scenarios are covered here. This is going to be just one example, and I'll show you a few others. But I want to join the credit union, and this again could be through any of those different channels I described. So use your imagination there. First question is membership eligibility. We would leverage your unique field of membership here. You can present products different ways. This is the most concise. Hey, this is required, this is recommended. You can even pre-select products as well on their behalf. If, for example, a membership share is required. You can also present more of a product menu. So if you want to have them click through and see, here's my savings or share accounts, my money markets, my certificates of deposit, that could be the experience as well. This, in my opinion, is more concise, but that's up to you. So I add my share account. You can pre-opt them into features, or these can be unchecked by default. The goal is to save clicks. So if most people, it's kind of assumed these services just kind of come with the package these days. So you might as well let them save them clicks and they can say, no, I don't want online banking. That would be my approach. But again, you decide. So I choose my features. I can, my account opening, due diligence questions can be presented here as well. And then again, you can recommend products. Might as well add a checking account since you're here today. So I'll take advantage of that. And again, all my features are opted in, but that's up to you at the credit union, what you want the member experience to be. If I want to learn more, I have the ability, if the credit union has set up links here to, hey, what is overdraft protection? I can link out to, the CFPB, maybe some unbiased research on overdraft. That would be one option. Could also go out to a branded website of yours. That's how you want to promote overdraft protection as a service, or any of these others. So just keep in mind, you would be able to link out to, even if you wanted to, your web pages that talk about these. So now I look at my shopping cart, I got my checking account, my share account, I'm good to go. If I have a last minute change of heart, I'm gonna opt out of overdraft protection. I can do it here. I don't have to go all the way back. So I'm done with my account, essentially account build or membership build there. And now tell us about yourself. So all the personal information on this new potential member. We want to save clicks at any point in the process. So here's one way. You can take a picture of the driver's license, scan that barcode, and I can get name, date of birth, address, and all the driver's license information pre-filled into the application. So again, if I'm sitting at home on the couch and I want to join, I could take a picture of my driver's license with my phone and upload it. But also, if you were out at a community event, hey, Mr. Member, let me take a quick picture of your driver's license, and then I can pre-fill a lot of the information so that you don't have to recite your name and your address to me.
That's my favorite part. I gotta say.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. There's another one you'll like too. I'm going to hold our some of our feature innovations till the very end, but I'll show you another data prefill that you'll like. So then I'm filling in the blanks essentially, and there's not much to do. So name is all pre-filled. Same with date of birth. I can add a beneficiary if I want to. Address pre-fills from the driver's license scan as well. Now all of these fields are still editable. So, some people, they don't have their current address. I just moved. And so, my driver's license scan wouldn't help me here. But I can still make those changes. And then it sounds like you're relatively familiar with LPQ, NXA, so you probably recognize occupancy status, employment status. I won't get into that too much then. If you have any minimum requirements for address or employment, those would be supported here. So, maybe you require 2 years. If I satisfy that up front, I won't even see those fields. I can add a PO box for mailing. I cannot add a PO box as a physical address. That will error out. Okay, now I start to enter my contact information and my Chrome browser takes over. So with just a click, I can pre-fill email and home phone number. So, a lot of mobile phones are good at this as well. They'll pre-fill contact information. So yet another data pre-fill option. Driver's license information is all inputted here. Now, if it was expired, oops, then we would see an error here and they would not be able to proceed. Employment information. So this likely looks familiar to you, but I'll just mention this is dynamic. So if I say I'm active military, we're going to ask relevant questions about their employment, so pay grade, branch of service, etc. Or if I'm self-employed, we'll collect information on the business, and so on and so forth. So, oops. Now you might be wondering, do I want to collect employment information for a new member? Or am I asking too much of this person? Number one, you decide. So if your goal is the shortest member app possible, I'm not worried about cross-selling credit products. You could turn these fields off. If you want to cross-sell, I highly recommend you keep these on because we'll need to at least know employment and income to be able to push that to your loan decision side. So up to you though.
And that will carry over from if they were to open an account today and then 2 months from now they come here to apply for a loan. Will it pull in their employment information?
Not from here. So if they come into your branch and talk to someone and use the processing side of the platform, then we'll be able to recall data like that.
Okay.
This is a call to action that you can control. So if brand new member, maybe you want a copy of ID, maybe you want proof of residency, that will be your choice. So you will be able to control this language. You could even say, if you don't have it handy, no problem, we'll collect it later. So that you're setting an expectation of, hey, please continue, even if you don't have it. That's all up to you and the experience that you want to create. I can quickly take a picture of my driver's license or any other documentation you're asking of me and upload that to you. And that goes right into letters and docs. Any of the doc upload features you'll see go right where your staff is already processing documents. So very easy for them. They don't have to go somewhere else. And now we're on to funding. Any minimum deposit requirements would just be pre-filled here. I can add more to my checking account if I want to. And now I can choose my funding options here. So all of these are supported. Now, you may or may not do all of these on your account opening channel. Of course, we would leverage the ones that you want to turn on. But just so you know, you can do PayPal funding if the credit union has a PayPal account. If they have a credit card handy, can start to, oh, here. Sorry about that. Usually, I guess it's not working today. I wanted to show you the cool little, typically we can leverage the Google Wallet, Samsung Wallet, Apple Pay right from here. I wonder why it's not. It's not doing it for me today. But typically we can pre-fill credit card information from those different wallet app types of features so that they're not typing it all in. But of course they can.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one option. It can transfer from another financial institution using an ACH. You also set these maximums to whatever your comfort level is. They can mail a check or give you cash, or for an existing member through core integration, we can do an internal transfer. I'll show you an ACH today. Now, if you do ACH already, so if you're a Nacha originator or you work with Magic Rider, we would leverage that same integration. So if you're doing this already today, there's not much that needs to be done to enable it on the application portal side. We leverage your same integrations essentially.
Yep, and we are.
Perfect. So yeah, you wouldn't, as far as I understand, there would be nothing that you need to do. You've already enabled everything you need to for ACH. So now we're done with the new account request. I can double check my work if I need to. Go back and make changes. If I have comments that I want the credit union to see, I can add those here. And then the credit union, you guys can decide what you want to show here from a disclosure standpoint. So again, if you're doing a soft pull of credit, maybe to at least do a cross-sell, you might put that credit authorization language in here. And then any early disclosures that you want me to see, privacy policy. On a credit card, maybe it's credit card disclosures, e-consent, etc. We can present just like this. So we can either link out to a PDF document on your website, or you can upload documents into our general documents and link there. Okay. So you have options. As the consumer, if I want these in a form I can keep, I can email them to myself. I still cannot continue until I view these here. Okay. And you can decide if you want to require me to scroll down to the bottom or just open this. That is up to the credit union. But at a minimum, I need to open it, and these clicks are captured in the internal comments of every application. So your staff will easily be able to see a time and date stamp and an email address for all of these clicks. So very easy to demonstrate compliance for anybody who's asking, whether it's an examiner saying, how do you know that credit card disclosures were issued? Well, I can go to the comment screen and here's a time and date stamp. End of story. So very easy. Now we're queuing up third-party checks. Typically, you're running ID authentication at this point. So out-of-wallet questions. Do you work with a provider already today for ID authentication?
Yes.
Okay. Who is it? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Maybe Lou knows. It's integrated into our current Meridian link.
Then you're covered. We would leverage the same third-party checks. So no. Right. Yep. We work with up to 10 providers now, so you actually have a lot of options. But definitely, if you're already running this today, we would use this same integration. And then we queue up any other third-party checks, assuming they're going to pass ID authentication. So you could do a soft pull of credit, a debit bureau check, check systems, OFAC. That's up to you. We also push this to the decision engine, just in case you've created any rules for the new account opening. And if everything passes, then we can present documents for signing. So now I can sign my membership agreement right here in session. And remember the possibilities here. This could be me at home, late night, joining the credit union, and I'm signing my membership agreement right now. I can draw it with my finger, or I can accept DocuSign's style here. Or, again, I could be out at a community event and I just signed up with the credit union and signed all my documentation. Awesome. There are multiple outcomes, of course. One is an automated approval. That's what you see here. If someone was referred, you would have different messaging, of course, but you control this content. So it could be something like, hey, thanks for joining us, Donna. Through auto account creation, if we did push this to your core for automatic creation, we could also send back their member number, potentially could auto enroll them in online banking from the screen as well. But you can also, set the expectation for what's coming next here. So if you use automated actions today, so that's a tool you already have available in your administration side for outreach. You could say, hey, check your email inbox. We're going to send you anything else we need from you.
Mm-hmm.
So here's just one example of what an automated email could look like. As soon as this hits the platform, you could say, hey, we're excited that you joined us. Yay. Whatever content you want in here, really. The key here is you can also map into here any incomplete conditions or stipulations. So you would be able to leverage automated actions to do follow-up on any remaining conditions. Hey, we still need your ID. By the way, click here to provide it to us. And then they have a nice little secure document portal where they can upload documents right to the application. It's also friendly on a mobile device, so no problem. Again, if they applied on their mobile channel, they probably got that email within moments and they're probably still on their phone, and they could still take advantage of the phone's features to upload documents to you. Also, I signed my membership agreement. Within moments, that's in my email inbox as well. So I have access to the signed documentation. It's in a form I can keep. I can print it. I can download it. I don't have to reach out for the credit union for this information. Within moments of my signing, it's already in my inbox. So that's the second engagement. You could have had an automated email welcoming them, their signed documents, and then you could also, if they ask to have their consent or their disclosures sent to them, you'd have a bulleted list of all the disclosures so that that is also in a form that they can keep.
Okay.
So think about that. This person who maybe applied in the middle of the night has already got 3 different engagements from the credit union. So very high touch and all automated. So this person is probably not wondering what's going to happen next because they are well informed along the way. So again, just imagine the efficiencies created, and again, the ability to be essentially open anytime and not necessarily tethered to business hours.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I'm a fan. And again, here's the cross-sell experience too. So if you want to, for this brand new member, you could potentially be making credit offers as well. If at a minimum, you do a soft pull of credit and include the employment information on the new member application. But these are just a couple examples. Hey, we think we can save you some money if you refinance your credit union loan elsewhere with us. Or maybe, hey, you're eligible for a credit card, or maybe it's just a new vehicle loan. Hey, it looks like you're qualified up to this amount. And remember, these are qualified offers because we actually have underwritten these.
Right. Yep.
Even if I don't take advantage of this, it's a nice warm fuzzy. First 5 minutes of joining the credit union, and they're already trying to save me money. So it's a pretty cool experience to be able to create. Maybe I want to take advantage of the credit card. Mm-hmm. So I can click right through. I can add that here, no problem. Oops, and the application is already filled out on my behalf. I accidentally scrolled up there. But I don't have to do anything. I end up essentially down here at the bottom, and I can upload my pay stub. Again, that's a call to action that you will have control over. So for a credit card app, maybe all you want is the most recent pay stub. For an auto loan, maybe you want a pay stub and proof of auto insurance. That's totally up to you. Anything that will help your staff hit the ground running with their processing, might as well include that there, as long as it's not too hard, because you don't want them to abandon either.
Right.
But here we are, we're done with the credit card application. That was pretty easy. And now Any disclosures that you want, that attach with the credit card app would present here, either in language form or in documents. And so just like last time, I can have these sent to me. I have to at least look at them here. And again, you can decide if you want me to scroll to the bottom to accept. That's up to you. All those clicks captured in internal comments. So if someone says, I didn't get my credit card disclosures, you'll probably give them another copy, but you'll be able to still point to a time and date stamp that those were accessed, because otherwise they wouldn't even make it to the next screen.
Right.
Now there's 2 offers here. So if you have multiple credit cards that you want to present in a cross-sell, you can, or it can just be one. I'll accept that top offer. And now I can go right into signing my credit card agreement as well. If that's all that's necessary for credit cards, if there's no other documentation, again, we do have a pathway that could include automation of the creation of the credit card account as well. If you want your staff to touch this once, that's okay too. No problem. That'll be up to you. But just know that we have the capacity after they sign everything, if they've passed all your decision rules, to auto create. So now we got new membership, we signed a membership agreement, uploaded ID, uploaded a pay stub, also signed the credit card application, and also got a follow-up email from the credit union for anything else that's left. And those are all ways that I, as the consumer, can give you what you need. And so far, your staff hasn't had to lift a finger. So just imagine all the efficiencies along the way, where you're not having to ask and regularly follow up for this documentation, at least the first time around. Maybe you let an automated action run for a day or two and then have a human being get involved if they still haven't provided what you need. But meanwhile, your human workforce is focusing on apps that are ready for funding, or focusing more on the member experience than, did I remember to send out that email? Did I remember to collect on these things? Let the system do some of that work for you. So of course, go ahead. What did you say? Sorry.
I'm a fan of that.
Oh, good. Yeah, me too. So again, this messaging you would control. This is an automated approval. So hey, everything looks good. Your loan number is this. And again, I like automated actions, so I'll continue to promote those. Here's my credit card application message, and all of this content you can create. So maybe you don't even want to say approved or ready. Hey, we're all set. We just need a few things from you still. Hey, we need 2 pay stubs. Please upload those here. Mm-hmm. And those automated actions, I did a demo earlier where a client thought that automated actions were specifically attached to application portal. So I'll just clarify, that's a tool that you have today in your other configuration. So you can be doing this already, even without application portal. You could be doing that kind of regular follow-up.
We do have a few out there, like for incomplete applications.
Oh, perfect.
That's pretty much, I think, all that we're using it for right now.
One good idea, if you decide to deploy application portal, part of that project could be, brainstorming with some of your team members on what automated actions would pair well with this. And no one can better answer that than the frontline staff. Hey, what do you do in connection with a credit card application? Line by line. Which one of those things can we automate via an automated action? So, if you go into deployment, that's a perfect excuse to start adding some automated actions as a part of that project, because likely you're dedicating some time and energy to it. So, just some food for thought if you want to add more and you like what you see with automated actions. Okay. This is the landing page of the application portal. Most of the time, you don't even see this. From your online website, from your public website, someone says they want a credit card or they want to add accounts. We have deep links so we can drop right into the application so that no one's saying, I want a credit card, and then they land on this page, and then they have to say that again. I show you this just so you can see. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So for instance, like on our website, if somebody's on the credit card page of our website, if they click apply now, it's going to go right to the credit card application.
You got it.
They don't
So
have to choose. Okay,
exactly.
nice.
So from the website, they say apply now, and they drop right into this guy. So apply in
Mm-hmm.
3 steps. This is the desktop mode, so you can see what it looks like on a desktop, but they jump right into the credit card app.
Awesome.
You can even, in the URL that they click on, so this might be getting a little too technical, but I think it's helpful to know, you can build attributes into the URL that they're clicking on from your website. Maybe you have a button that says refinance my auto loan. So we already know they want to refi. So we can even pre-select the purpose as well so that they're not having to do that. So some fun little tricks and hacks that you'll learn during deployment as well to make it really cool. But again, I'll show you.
As far as I'm sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting.
Feel free, ask
so
questions.
As far as the mobile app, we would, I think the easiest way would be if we put a link outside of our mobile app to click on. What would that take them to this page so they can choose which application they need?
You have options there too. So if you did it outside and you wanted to drop them on a landing page like this, you absolutely could.
I don't have that much confidence in our online banking vendor at this point to put in like an SSO or
got it
behind the login. I think that would be a huge long project, and they're saying that that's Q1 for them next year. So I'm like, okay.
Single sign-on will be a very nice addition once your provider is ready, because remember, an existing member, if we have all their data, it's silly to ask them to put in their name, their address, those sorts of things. So once you get to that point with your home banking provider, really consider single sign-on, because for your existing member who's behind a home banking PIN, they say, I want a credit card. The only thing they're going to have to fill out themselves is the credit limit, or on an auto loan, they're going to ask for an auto loan for a certain amount and for certain months. That's the member experience you want to be able to create, at least down the line. So put that in your back pocket.
Christine, who is your home banking provider?
We use Aperture. They used to be First Data.
Okay. I'll have to check in how that all works on that one.
Okay, thanks.
But definitely you can link to this page anywhere because it's just a URL. And in fact, you can even put in attributes into the URL that control what shows here. So if you wanted one screen that only had a link to a credit card and a personal loan, and you wanted another screen that had vehicle, or maybe all your loans on one page and then all your deposit requests on another, so that you could have apply or add accounts. And again, the screen would be smarter. So a lot of that you'll have flexibility to do.
Okay.
Let me show you. And again, I just show you this page so that you can see the different products we can run through this channel. So business loans and business accounts, deposits and such, complete with beneficial ownership compliance. Credit cards, personal loans, vehicle loans, home equity loans and lines of credit, again with HMDA built in. And then we've got a workflow for a new member, which you just saw. We cross-sold a credit card through that. But we also have a different workflow for an existing member. So even if you can't do single sign-on yet, you would still be able to link an existing member to an existing member workflow if they say, I want to add a certificate of deposit or something like that. So at a minimum, you're not running them through things like, tell me how you're eligible for membership. So you still will be able to remove some of the due diligence. Ooh, this also has the product menu so that you can see, here are all the different products I offer, and I can do a deeper dive here. So that's a nice view for you just to see. But again, So a member who is behind home banking, you'd still be able to link here and skip some of those questions that might make them feel like, hey, wait, I'm not joining the credit union. I'm already here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you've at least
And
got.
yeah, our application now, I think our workflow makes them go through the whole process again if they're a member.
Yeah, we'll skip that. So you'll have the ability, and even to kind of trim down the due diligence that you're running. So you'd be able to, if they click that link, we know they're an existing member, so we could do things like skip ID authentication if you want us to, because maybe they click through from behind home banking. That'll be up to you. We also have, you may or may not have noticed, when I wanted to join the credit union, I didn't have to present any kind of login credentials. So I didn't have to register, set up a login and a password. I just got right in to what I needed to do. So the trade-off is we have a check status page. The goal of that is for someone to be able to, save an application, come back, look at it, maybe check the status of their application. Now, the trade-off is there is no save and finish later anymore. That will help you, though, because you won't have a bunch of incomplete applications that you have to work. I can still go back and check the status of my application at any point. So this is, again, another site that you can link to. So maybe on your website and on your mobile site, you have a button that says, check my application status. You could link them right to here, and they can see all the applications they've done with you in the last 90 days. Now, this is regardless of channel as well. So they could have met you at an RV show, came into the branch, and did some online banking. And all of those applications would show here as long as they're within the last 90 days. So, and they can verify themselves with this bit of information. If you're not wanting to even go down the road of social security number at all, you can also default the application to send an email authentication so that this person has to get a code and enter it in to verify who they are. So that's another option as well. But from here, I can check my application status. I can upload documents to the credit union, and I think this is either the fourth self-service remote document upload option you've seen so far. So we're trying to give them many different ways to give you what you need. I can also message back and forth with the credit union here. Automated actions can also automate conversations in, this is your WebMS tool, so the conversation or chat tool. You can also automate stipulations and collection of information from here. So you could do an email, or if you wanted to keep everything within a secure conversation log like this, you could be automating, hey, this is what we need from you. By the way, click the upload button right here on the check status screen, and we can chat back and forth if necessary. And again, I can upload documents from here. All of that activity. So again, the 4 different ways so far that they can upload documents to you, whether it's an automated email, in session, or via this check status page. And all of the chat activity, all of that activity, if your users are subscribed to the queue where application portal apps go, they'll be getting notifications. So here's that credit card app and the new member app we just took, and I'm getting alerts that documents have been uploaded, that someone's trying to chat with me, etc. So there's a very seamless handoff here. It can go right into the queue of your choosing, and it can notify whatever users you've subscribed to that queue. So that I'm just doing my thing, processing applications, and a new application portal app comes through or documents come through, and I get a notice. Hey, it looks like this credit card has new documents. I can click right through, hop right into that credit card app. I can go to letters and docs, and I'll see the signed application from DocuSign, also the proof of income that was requested. So all the documentation is here for me. Maybe I'm ready to fund. I'll double check my tasks, check those off, Or maybe all I needed to do in this scenario was check off my tasks and send this to somebody else who funds applications. Again, that depends on your workflow.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can just jump into the next one, whatever, wherever I want to go. I can pick my own adventure here. It looks like a new member account is being set up and I have docs there, so I can hop in there as well. I highly recommend that this becomes kind of the focus point for at least a group of users at the credit union, because these are real-time members trying to give you what you're asking for. And so, in my opinion, pay them back for good behavior. They're giving you what you want. Fund these as fast as you can.
And I just looked, I'm like, we don't even use our alerts that I'm aware of in Meridian Link for the web.
Really? That would be nice.
I just clicked on mine to see if I had one, and I have one from June 6th. But it was, I need to look into that to see what we can automate there.
Certainly, yes.
Yeah.
You also can create, by the way, if you're worried about missing a web chat from a applicant, we do also have in the queue setup the ability to create what's called a WebMS escalation queue. So this is something you could put in your back pocket if you want to, but you can set up a queue where these apps go in if a new web message has been sent by an applicant and it's been 60 minutes and no one's touched it. So by default, you could just drop into an escalation queue and notify someone. You can also set this up to ignore the 60-minute threshold. So, hey, I want to know in real time, these applications have a web message that no one's touched, or no one's touched in 60 minutes. So keep that in mind. If you're worried about losing those in the mix, you could create a queue workflow and notify the necessary people if you want to.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, just a little side note there. Okay, let's get back here. So check status. Again, you're able to upload documents, view your status, message back and forth with the credit union from here. And you can link to this from all kinds of different places. So on your website, that automated email that you saw, maybe for someone who's referred, they didn't get an automated approval, you want to be able to get them back here. So, hey, click here anytime you want to check your status yourself. We'll get back to you as soon as we have an update. But if you're curious, come check it out. Upload documents from here. You can also chat with us from here. So, pretty handy.
Nice.
I'm going to show you this in just a few. It's called our combo app, but I want to show you a few other things ahead of time. Give you something different to look at. Application Portal Manager is the administrative tool that we'll give to the credit union. As I mentioned earlier, you'll be able to manage the experience you just saw in real time. So this is the tool that you can use. We can also single sign on to this administrative tool right from this platform. So for the administrators that you give access to the editor tool, they don't have another set of login credentials. You can, right from here, single sign on and jump in for those people who have access. You'll be able to see the application portal right here in front of you. So as you're making changes, you'll see those changes in real time, and you can even, be the member and walk through the entire application process if you want to. Now, very easy to make changes. Most of it is just, data entry, drag and drop, that sort of thing. So now I'm looking at my new membership application. If I want to add or change a logo, I just drag and drop that right in here from a file folder. If I want to add a favorites icon, just drag and drop that as well. And now I can change my color schemes here too, to be a different experience if I want to. So for example, you like the blue color and you wanted to infuse that more. You can see that change in real time and the impact to the colors. And I can even browse through this entire application, just like I was applying for membership, and see, now that I've taken that green out, what does it look like? Can even go all the way through here, On to the next page, all the way through my third-party checks, so I can see every page of the experience and make sure that my changes are what I want them to be before I publish them, or potentially save as a draft. That's an option too. Our application portal is ADA compliant right out of the box, but we do give you tools like this, so you do have the potential, to do something that's not ADA compliant. So we highly recommend these resources, including this browser plugin for Chrome called Wave that you can turn on, and as you're making changes to your site, changing colors, etc., it'll show you errors. Hey, this is a contrast or screen resolution issue.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a nice little companion as you're doing your edits. If you like what you see, with just a few clicks here and a few comments, you can save your changes. And now if I come over here to my actual site, I think all my green highlights would go away. Let's see. Yep. We give you both a test and a production version of this. So, if you want to experiment, you want to try some new things in the test environment and not impact production, no problem. We got you covered there. You can also change verbiage from here. So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to be able to control the experience and the language that you use, even the branding. So a personal loan, under here it's called an unsecured loan. Maybe you call it a signature loan or something else. Whatever your program is called, you'd be able to highlight here. Or, if you don't even want to say that, you could say, welcome to the application portal. That's not really that exciting, but again, whatever you want to put in there is going to be up to you. If I switch over to the new account experience, I have access to change verbiage here as well. So any of the headers, really any of the language that you want to change to set the right expectation, or just to communicate the way you want to your membership, you will have that ability. So I can scroll through and do edits this way, go through the entire experience there, or if I've made any changes already, those would be captured here and I'd be able to see the default language and what I changed it to. So I can easily get back to the default by just hitting delete. Here's that call to action. Here's the default language. But for each workflow, you'd be able to say, hey, this is the documentation I need from you up front. So a copy of ID for a new member account. For a personal loan or a credit card, I could ask for different information. Now I flip over to the credit card application and I can quickly change those requirements here. So a pay stub here. For an auto loan, I could ask for a pay stub and auto insurance coverage. That is completely up to you. So all of this language you'll be able to set. And for each experience, business loan, credit card, home equity, personal loan, and so on. We'll talk about the combo app in just a moment, which is essentially, that solves for, I want a loan at the credit union, but I'm not a member yet. So we get membership eligibility, the loan request, all of that wrapped into a single session. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. Now, of course, you can set the experience to be unique for a new member, an existing member who wants to add deposit accounts, for any special accounts like minor, trust, UPA, etc., and then business accounts as well. So, and you can even set different requirements based off whether it's a partnership or a sole proprietorship or an LLC. Maybe you have different, signers that you require for each one of those. All of that you'd be able to set up here. Can also hide and show fields, so you have access to field visibility. Remember that scenario where I said with a new member, if your goal is just a very concise application, I'll cross-sell later or something like that, you can turn off fields. So here's my income, I can turn that off. I don't have to ask for employment. I don't have to ask really for anything if I don't want to. I can turn off a lot of the application. Now these are ones that have been changed before, but I can also browse through the experience and see what my options are too. Do I want to ask for a branch here? If so, I can turn that on. And then again, I can browse through this experience and see where I can show and hide fields. So here we go, scroll down. That's where gender would appear. That's where mother's maiden name would show. Beneficiary information. So I'll be able to turn on or off these fields depending on my preference. Ooh, I actually want to turn that on, so I'm going to. So very easy to do. And again, for each workflow. So housing payment, just like I turned that on for the new member right now, some workflows I might not want that, or employment information, or occupancy, or gender, you know. So again, each workflow I can set different rules for what fields hide and show. I think I already did this, but I'm a little neurotic about making sure my changes are published. There we go. Okay, so there's a lot to this admin tool, so I won't show you everything today. But the last thing I want to show you from here, we've been focused mostly on, you know, the member experience and the communication around a member applying. So I'll leave you with this. Just know that this is pretty much the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more you can do in here. But these are the different outcomes of a loan. One is automated approval, where the system said yes, or a referral message where the system says I need a human to help me. Auto decline, if you do those and you want to, you know, maybe even soften that messaging a little bit, or set the expectation if you're going to make an outbound call to tell them what's happening here. That's totally up to you. So the key here is for each outcome, you can set different messaging and also set the expectation for what's happening next. You also have messaging for pre-qualifications. So if you do pre-screen credit offers and you upload campaigns to our system, we can skip the automated decisioning engine and maybe even the credit report because you've already pre-qualified them. So that message might look a little different than someone who went through the automated approval process.
Right.
Now we're in a personal loan and this message is an automated approval. So I know that they're at least approved for a personal loan. I can also control the next click in their adventure here. So if for an unsecured personal loan, it would be really nice for them to learn more about payment protection, for example, if I could spell it. Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. So you could say something like, you know, payment protection is a really good pairing with this personal loan that you're applying for. So click here to learn more. So you could put that kind of messaging in here, and you can even link out to a nice branded website if you've got that, promoting payment protection the way you want to promote it. You could also, people like to click on bright and shiny pictures, draws their attention. You could also put in a picture that's a call to action and still link out to a website. So, you know, something like unsecured loan, we've got you covered. I don't know what the marketing is, but again, you could do whatever you want here and link to the right place. Now with a referred applicant, they don't have a definitive answer yet. So you can set the expectation, hey, we need a few more minutes to get you a decision. Here's your loan number for reference, but also you could plug in a link to the check status page that I showed you just a minute ago here. By the way, anytime you want to check status yourself, click on this link or click on this picture and we'll take you right to the check status page. You know, where you can upload documents, check your status in real time, and you can also chat with the credit union if you have any questions. So again, you know, you can control the adventure, the next click in their adventure. You can also plug in items like their name. You can tell them what their member number is going to be. There's some other things in here as well. But again, if you want to personalize this experience, you will be able to do that as well. So hopefully that sparks some ideas. Just or again, really the takeaway of this admin tool is that, you know, no longer will you have to submit a support case to us if you want to make changes just to your logo or something simple. You're going to have access. And if you want to create a fun, dynamic experience, you know, maybe you change your logo seasonally. with the seasons, or you want to be like Google and have a historical reference in your logo every day. That might be a little over the top, but again, you can do that if you want to. You could spin up a patriotic 4th of July page just for that day and turn it off the next day. So, imagine the possibilities if you're trying to create kind of a fun member experience, something that might change from time to time. You'll be able to do that without having to wait in line for your turn with our support team.
Very nice.
Yeah. How you doing so far? I still have more to share, so I'll keep going. But if you have any questions that are, on your mind, let me know. I know I tend to almost overshare, but there's so many features, so I'll keep chugging along. Okay. So I have this slide just to keep me honest, make sure I tell you about everything that's important. We already talked about the application portal manager. That's what you just saw in action. We also talked about secure messaging. So you're going to be able to get them to the check status page to be able to chat securely with you. And again, you can automate credit union messaging in there using automated actions. Document exchange. I think there were 4 different ones that you saw. So one was in-session document upload, in-session document signing, an automated email with a doc upload, or again, getting them to the check status screen. Those are all ways that they could exchange documents with you. And again, they'll go right into your letters and docs. So no surprises, no searching for your staff. They go where they belong. Mm-hmm. We also have advanced address verification on the lender side that we can enable for application portal as well. So you can make sure the addresses are formatted correctly, saving your return mail costs, but also those pesky red flag address discrepancy alerts on the loan side. You get a lot of false positives because the Southwest is in the wrong place or the avenue is not spelled out or something like that. So if we make sure the address going in is to United States Postal Service specifications, the thought process is hopefully you'll have a lot fewer false positives. Those used to drive me nuts because as an administrator trying to create a system that automates decisions, when my decision is stopped because the Southwest is, in front of the street name or something, it used to drive me nuts. Site analytics are available as well if you want to, be able to see kind of the behavior or the workflow of an applicant. Or maybe you're concerned that a certain question is a source of abandonment. You'd be able to get that type of analytics through either Google Analytics. We support Google Tag Manager, so we can plug into that. Or we have an internal tool as well that will allow you to do some site analytics. Not as robust as Google, but if for some reason you don't want to share data with Google, you don't have to, and we can still help you get the job done. Okay. I mentioned the customizable URL already, so you're able to plug in certain attributes to the URL to make the application perform differently. So, hey, on this screen, on this landing page, I only want a personal loan to show and a check status, so you'll be able to do that. Or I want to pre-fill the purpose as a refinance. That's all possible. Also, in the URL, you can say what the source is or who the processor is. So if you have a tablet out in the field, maybe at an RV show, and you've got a loan officer working that tablet, you'd be able to get that data coming through as well. So that will support, real-time reporting. How's my campaign going? But you'd also be able to identify these are applications coming from the RV show, and this week they're our top priority. So maybe you want to drop that in a different queue or notify a team. Hey, we've got an RV show app. This is your top priority, change what you're doing so that you can put your best foot forward when you're offsite at a campaign. Or maybe you want to do a social media kind of thing, hey, Facebook, join our credit union. And that for that week, again, you want that to be top priority. We process these first this week. So that Facebook click-through, you'd be able to identify and, again, notify staff or just drop it into a queue and set the expectation with your staff. Hey, these Facebook click-throughs, these are priority number 1 this week. And we've made a queue, so it's really easy for you to just hop in there and process those as they come. So I'm a huge fan of that URL feature because you can accomplish a lot in terms of prioritizing, but also getting access to reporting.
Tracking, yeah.
Yep,
Absolutely.
exactly. You can also spin up additional portals if you want to. So if you have a unique purpose that you're trying to serve, and maybe you want to have the application look differently or have different fields that are showing versus the traditional experience, that's possible. You know, if you work with a local partner that says, hey, local university or something like that, I'd love to be able to generate new members for you, but I want it to be through a channel that's my branding, my look and feel, powered by your decision engine. So we could spin up a version of this application portal that is just that and still pushes applications to you. Or if you want to work with a local merchant, maybe a local LASIK provider, eye surgeon or something like that. I say that because I'm actually going through the process of eye surgery myself right now. But anything, HVAC guy who does, replacement of water heaters and stuff like that. All of these are possibilities where you could have an application portal with their branding that goes to your decision engine, and you can communicate to those vendors in real time. So if that HVAC person is just literally in the living room of somebody and they're taking an application, you'll be able to tell them, hey, this application's ready to go. We got the documents we need. You're good to go for install. So again, automated actions can do that. So again, imagine.
We do a lot. We do quite a bit of indirect lending.
Oh, there you go.
Deals.
Okay.
So that probably would be helpful there.
Certainly. Now for, indirect vehicle loans, we definitely have a more robust automated channel. Dealer Track, Route 1, and Cuddle are those traditional channels. If you work with specific dealers who are not on, one of those networks, this could be a solution. We also have a dealer app that you can send to them as well. That's real easy to do. So lots of options.
So they could do this customer app, let's say, except they'll have a dealer URL.
Exactly, and you'll know where that's coming.
Yep.
Pretty nice. Okay, we talked about, you've seen the driver's license scan already. So, one of our goals here is to help you save your members' clicks anytime possible. So driver's license scan is one of those features. You saw that in action. Home banking single sign-on, I think, is key to making this easy for existing members. So again, put that in your back pocket for when the time or for when it's ready, because it will be a really nice addition, especially for existing members. You're going to make it so easy for them to do business with you. Mm-hmm. Another one that I want to show you now is our combo application, which is, I want a loan, but I'm not a member at the credit union yet today. So we can capture all of those requirements in one session. When you get to the point of single sign-on for members, this is a nice best practice. Now, you don't have to copy this verbatim, but someone comes to your public website and says, I want something. I want a credit card, and they're not behind home banking yet. You could ask them in the online banking workflow something like this. So are you a member? Yes or no? If they are, that's where you would leverage home banking. Hey, sign in real quick. We're going to make your application process so easy. So again, something for your back pocket. But for folks who are not a member yet, that's where we can drop them into the combo app. Because again, all they said was, I want a credit card, or I want to refinance my vehicle loan, and they're not logged in yet. So you might not know this answer. So you can present a question like, are you a member? Yes or no? And the workflow can be unique based off of their answer. And then you can drop them right into something like this if they say, I want an auto loan, but I'm not a member. So this is the combo application. I'm able to determine the loan request and membership eligibility all together. And again, I can pre-fill or predefine purposes if I want to, or leave them as an option. I know my VIN number, make, model, and year will pre-fill for me. I can add mileage, an estimated vehicle value. You know, this is just to get the conversation started. You're likely going to pull NADA or Kelley Blue Book to verify a true vehicle valuation. And then again, brand new member in this scenario, so I can upload or take a picture of my driver's license to pre-fill a lot of the app: name, address, date of birth, driver's license information. This screen will look very familiar, so I won't spend too much time explaining here. I'll just fly through it. But all the same features, so data pre-fill from a browser or a phone, driver's license scan, and then I'm just filling out my occupancy status. Driver's license information is all pre-filled, and here I am on my income, housing expense, employment section. And then we're in a combo application, so you could ask for different documentation. You'll be able to. So brand new member who wants an auto loan, you could ask for ID, a pay stub, auto coverage, proof of residency. All of that is up to you. You know, keep it simple so they don't abandon, or make sure to just say, hey, if you don't have any of this handy, that's okay, we'll get it later. But anything you can get up front, again, that makes your staff's lives easier, ask for it.
Right.
So now we're done with the vehicle app, and we're right on to membership eligibility. So how are you eligible? And then this is handy. If I'm not approved for the above loan product, what do I want to do? Do I want to continue opening membership? Yes or no? Of course I do, but maybe some people won't. What happens here if they say I don't? If your loan isn't approved, we will delay the creation of the new account so that we're not charging you for the Express Account app and all your third-party checks. If they're automatically approved, we're going to automatically create the new account application as well and run all of the third-party checks. But again, if they say no and we don't have an approval on our hands, we'll delay that order so that you're not incurring unnecessary costs. And then from here, you've seen this workflow. So in the interest of time, I won't keep going, but this is going to, you know, your required products, your recommended, sign your disclosures, and then we'll run through all of the different third-party checks, which you have seen already. But again, really the differentiator here is this. So I want a loan, but I also have to tell you how I'm eligible for membership. And I can also tell you my preference if I'm not approved for the loan product. So combo app, really nice touch. And it solves, at least for some credit unions, a really big kind of quandary, which is, well, I want the loan request, but now I have to go out and determine membership eligibility manually. Okay, let's see. What else have I got? Okay, I'll leave you with this. So far, I've shown you, everything I've shown you is the current state of application portal. So I'll leave you with a little highlight. That's something coming in the very near future. My understanding is that this particular innovation will be live at the end of third quarter. So we're very close. Right. And this is Equifax InstaTouch. This could potentially take the place of the driver's license scan. So, you know, we're constantly looking for ways to innovate when it comes to data pre-fill, because we've come to a time in our lives where every consumer wants to just be able to put their thumbprint on a phone and have a pizza delivered to their specifications within, you know, 5 minutes. So that's the world we live in now. So Equifax InstaTouch will allow for pre-fill that's even, you know, it's the driver's license scan and then some. The pre-fill data is validated by Equifax, so you've got a good data company, you know, that's got your back here. Through their integration, we can identify the device that the applicant is using and potentially even identify the carrier. So we can go out and look and try and find a match with the major mobile carriers. And if we do have one, we can pre-fill up to 11 pieces of information. So with just one click by the user, yes, please pre-fill my data. Like magic, they're going to get 11 pieces of info. So name, address, all their contact information, their social security number, all of that's going to pre-fill for your new member, just like magic. So this is something to look forward to. And again, I think it demonstrates our focus on not resting on our the laurels of a driver's license scan. You know, how can we get more data to pre-fill? So I imagine you'll continue to see more innovations here with, again, maybe at some point you'll get to a point where just scan your thumb and we can tell you yes or no, but we still got a few steps in between.
Retina scan, something.
Yeah, exactly. Just take a selfie and I'll be able to tell you everything you need to know. But that's all I have today. I know that was a lot of information. So, you know, if you have any questions, feel free now or to connect with Lou later. And we can even meet up again if there's, you know, a different group that needs to see this to help make your case or anything else you want to see. So with that, I'll pass it back to Lou and any last minute Q&A.